Murders in the Zoo on Blu-ray. This is day 5 of 31 of my 31 Days of Horror. This movie is from 1933 and it is only 63 minutes long. And because it's from 1933, that means it's from pre-code enforcement days, which means it could be a little bit naughtier in here. As far as the look of the movie goes on Blu-ray, it looks pretty good. There's still scratches and dust and specks and wobbles and weird jump cuts, like there's little bits of footage missing occasionally, like these old movies have. So it's not the best looking restoration, but it is HD, so I felt like the whole time I could see everything clearly, even though the film clearly was not nicely restored for this. And then the audio was okay, nothing special. So this is more like the novelty of seeing the movie and not like, wow, look at this HD transfer. So when I posted my unboxing of this movie, one of my subscribers, Good Owner, talked about the opening scene of this and how it's pretty shocking. The scene immediately establishes this guy as a psychopath.
And you'll never kiss another man's wife.
Oh. Did you hear this guy like grunting on the ground? And we get like a 1 second close up. And yes, he was sewing his mouth shut. Holy crap, that is terrifying. I guess this is a good Halloween movie. And so yeah, like my subscriber said, Good Owner, he said this movie was pretty shocking for the time. And there's multiple times throughout this movie where I was like, whoa, this is like pretty intense. Like there's a part later where they release a bunch of animals and they all start fighting each other and they're fighting for real. And it's like, holy crap, you can't do that in movies now.
Alone?
She's asking where the guy
Well,
went.
after what happened last night, I imagine he felt he shouldn't stay with us.
What did he say?
He didn't say anything.
That's pretty bad. What? What do you want? That's that's a really good, like, evil, amoral villain. He just that's a good joke. That's a good scary movie joke. He's like, he didn't say anything because his mouth was sewed shut.
I don't mean to say you really like
Here's some foreshadowing.
beasts. I love them. Their honesty, their simplicity, their primitive emotions. They love, they hate, they kill. Now, speaking of tigers, I
So he admires the animals because they love, they hate, they kill. And so I think this is really good kind of character call. If the opening scene wasn't enough to introduce this guy, boop, then this is a good scene where he shows that he admires the animals for how simple they are. And he starts to emulate them pretty much. So the bad guy just talked about some snake poison, and the doctor just talked about finding a cure to it. And look at this face. Is this the face of someone you could trust? I love the scowl. So this actor is brave. It actually looks like he's actually extracting poison out of the snake. I don't know if he really is, but I mean, he is actually holding a live snake. So there's so much animal handling in this movie. Like, I really would be curious about the behind the scenes of managing all of it. Like, look at this. And I don't know if it really is like a green mamba, like lethal snake, or if it's like one that actually looks similar. But there's so much animal action in this movie. Like, I'd be surprised if no one was hurt while making this thing. So to get publicity for the zoo, they decide to have like a banquet at the zoo with a bunch of fancy dressed people because they're trying to raise money, really. And the main killer guy sets up his wife and this guy that they're fixing to run off together to sit next to each other. They have assigned seating. And look at the little name tags. I thought this was a funny little touch. So there's hers. And look at his.
Somebody has been very thoughtful.
Anyway, so he sits him across from them and he can creepily stare at them while he smokes. All right, so here's the journalist.
Friends, friends, it is with teeming heart and warm fraternal hand that I welcome you to the zoo.
That's his signal for the photographers to take pictures, and they're clearly not paying attention. So the tone of this movie is actually really weird because you have like these brutal acts of violence and murder and just like seething like jealousy and hate. And then you have this guy, boop, he's totally the comic relief. And he does a really good job of it, but it makes for an odd tone, like especially like the ending. But he has this little gag here where he keeps tugging on his ear to get their attention to start taking pictures, and they're not paying attention. So there's like funny parts in this movie, but then just like terrifying, awful, scary parts. So I guess a lot of horror has comedy in it as well. But so he was definitely just solidly the comic relief, like just this guy. And I like him. I thought he did a really great job. He's a really good comedic actor, like his facial expressions and how he's so scared of all the animals all the time, and right here as well. So this was really creepy. So he murders the dude, and we're not sure how. We know that a snake is escaped or was let loose, but I mean it got that guy specifically. So we're like, wait, how did this guy do it? Did he like somehow lead the snake to this guy? We don't yet know that he had a freaking snake head that he just like strikes people with to murder them. But then they go home after he murdered this guy, and she totally knows it. And he's just like, "You're so beautiful," and he just like starts grabbing her, and she's like, "Ah!" And anyway, and then she's like, "I hate you. I was gonna leave with him." And my wife was listening, and she kept kind of criticizing this girl because she keeps saying things to him that are not in the best self-preservation attitude. She's like, "I was gonna leave you, and I don't like you anymore." And then later on, at the zoo, on the bridge over the crocodile, she's like, "I'm gonna tell everyone you're a murderer," and it's just like, and no one's looking, and it's dark, and it's just like, maybe don't say that, like he's gonna kill you. So she just said she hates him, and look at this face he makes. You see that subtle creepy face? He's a good evil actor. I'm excited to see him as a bad guy in more movies. So she decides she's got to escape because this guy's gonna freaking kill her, but before she does, she wants to see what he was messing around in his drawer. And so she finds the snake head, which is how he kills people. And she's determined to keep it and go talk to the doctor at the zoo, which then again puts her at the zoo in a compromising position when her husband catches up to her. But he's been killing people with a snake head. That's such a cool and scary murder weapon.
Hello.
Give it to me!
So he wants to take the snake head.
Now, you're all upset.
You killed him with it. You murdered Roger. Just...
Yeah. Anyway, maybe it's sad because I feel like if she didn't say this stuff right to his face, like, "I hate you and you're a murderer and I'm going to tell everybody," that she probably could have survived. Okay, for the life of me, I cannot figure out how they did this. And I know I could listen to the commentary, but I don't want to just listen to the commentary and tell you. I want to just tell you my thoughts on the movie. I do like listening to the commentaries though. But so she's like, "I'm going to tell everybody." And he's throwing her over the edge. And so it's shown these several times, like these are live crocodiles. So I want to look at this shot because to me, I feel like when it's a real person that plops in there, and I feel like there's real crocodiles. And then of course the scene cuts, and then you see the crocodiles doing the tumbling thing, which is super shocking as well. But I'm gonna hit play, and let's see if these are real crocodiles and a real person right here. See, so then it cuts, and it does the scary tumbly thing, but. So I don't know if those were fake crocodiles and they just kind of pushed them towards her, but either way, like, it looks real. It's very convincing. It was a very shocking scene. All right, this has to be one of the craziest scenes I've ever seen in a movie, and this would not be allowed to happen nowadays or even just 1 year later when the Hays Code actually was starting to be enforced. And I'll probably only show this for a tiny bit because it's pretty wild. All these animals of different kinds all get released together, and they actually start fighting, and looks like they're actually hurting each other. And I mean, it's cool for the story, but it's like, holy crap, like he can't do that now. So it's almost like this movie is just like a historical snapshot where you're just watching what people can get away with in movies. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure everything was okay, but like some of those cats were like biting each other and scratching each other, and so it's pretty rough. I don't know. Again, I don't know like if anyone was hurt making this movie or if any of these animals like died or anything, but this is brutal on this part. The killer totally gets his, and he's holding the snake onto his body, and then it wraps around. And I'll probably not show it, but actually it shows his face like super up close with the snake like tightening. So I don't know if it was a live snake or what, or if someone's just pulling it across, but it's pretty, I don't want to say graphic because nothing's spilling out of him, but I mean, you're seeing the snake choking the life out of this dude. So it's scary. So just like I said before, in these old horror movies, you kind of have like the bad people, you have a hot young couple that's almost like a guarantee they're going to survive. Sometimes they don't, but it seems pretty common they will. And especially when they introduce the couple for the first time and they're both like so lovey and they're both so kind and friendly to children, it's just like, oh yeah, that's the couple and they're going to survive. And then of course the guy's wife is like, I guess almost got kissed by a dude, and then that dude got his mouth sewn shut, and then this other guy's like, I'm going to marry you, and then he gets bit. So this whole movie, you have these murders and this violence and this like brooding and control and like just amoral killing. And then you have this guy who's the great comic relief, which I really liked. And sadly, he's fallen off the wagon and has gone back to drinking. And then you have this weird scene. So we saw just that the young couple's going to be together. Then it runs away. Anyway, so we see the young couple's going to stay together because after he got snake bit, he had been working on the antidote for like the whole movie. So she went and administered. Anyway, he's fine. But then you have this. So he smacks this lion. And then the movie ends right here. And he stumbles off singing. And then it just starts playing this like crazy like theme park, wild, funny, like little kid music. And it just does that throughout the credits. It's just like this super peppy music. And it's like, God, that movie was dark and violent. And it just has a weird tone. It like, I like the comedic relief, but it's a little bit at war with itself. Anyway, overall, I liked it. Scary movie. So glad I watched it. Glad that Good Owner my subscriber gave me a heads up on some of the shocking content. So I was kind of watching for it. And then once I saw it was 1933, I was like, ooh, I think that's pre-codes. I think there might be some scary, naughty things in here. So it was good. I liked it. So let me know if you've seen this movie. And this has been day 5 of 31 of my 31 days of horror for 2023. So thanks for watching. Love to hear what you think, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.